The very first ballerina. Beary the bear lived in a cozy little town filled with all sorts of animals. One fine autumn day, Beary decided that he wanted to be a ballerina. All of the other bears in his town were football players, but Beary didn't like football very much, even though he was big and strong. Beary wanted with all his heart to be able to dance. That night, Beary told his parents his wish. He said,
I don't want to be a football player like all the other bears. I want to be a ballerina.
His parents were shocked. No one had ever heard of a bear ballerina. Finally, they replied,
Beary, bears don't usually do ballet.
But if you really want to, go ask the ballet instructor. If she says you can, we'll allow it. After school the next day, Beary went to the ballet studio to talk to the instructor. As he was walking in, Beary saw a group of kids from his school outside the ice cream shop next door. Beary ducked his head and tried to hurry through the door. He was worried that they would make fun of him for wanting to dance. As he turned away, however, one of his classmates recognized him.
Beary,
He yelled.
don't you know bears don't dance? You're a freak.
Before Beary could reply, he found his fur covered in sticky ice cream as his classmates took turns throwing their cones at him. Beary's cheeks turned bright red, and he rushed away in tears. Beary ran off into the woods, crying and embarrassed. He came to a stream in the woods and stopped to clean himself off. As he scrubbed the ice cream from his fur, he looked at his reflection in the stream and thought,
How was I so silly? Of course a big bumbling bear can't be a ballerina.
All of a sudden, down the stream floated a cardboard box. Beary waded in and grabbed the damp box. As soon as he brought the box back to shore, the bottom of the soaking wet box fell open and revealed stacks of wet newspapers. Beary stared at the cover page of the newspapers in shock. The front headline read, Breathtaking Bunny Bella Takes Football by Storm. Fascinated, Beary read the article from start to finish. He found out that Bella was the first bunny to play football. Bella used her speed and her size to weave around her bigger opponents and was the highest scoring player in the league this year. She told the interviewer,
Nobody thought I could play football, but I proved them wrong. Find out what you're good at and use that to follow your dreams. You can do anything you put your mind to.
Beary kept thinking about Bella's words as he walked back to the town, filled with a new hope. If a tiny bunny could be a star football player, he could be a ballerina. Beary thought about her advice. Focus on what you're good at,
That's it.
he thought.
I'm very strong. If I train as hard as I can, my strength could make me a great ballerina.
He ran off to the gym to start training. He couldn't wait to show everyone what he could do. When Beary got to the gym, he saw his best friend, Ryan the rhinoceros.
Hi, Beary.
Said Ryan.
What are you doing here?
Beary replied.
I'm here to train to become a ballerina.
Ryan laughed.
That's absurd.
He said.
Bears can't even do the splits. You could never be a ballerina in a million years.
And he walked off laughing. Beary was heartbroken yet again. Ryan was right. No bear had even done the splits before. Then it hit him.
If I practice being flexible and combine that with my strength, I should be able to do the splits. Then I can be a ballerina.
He thought. Determined, Beary decided to stretch and exercise every night before bed to become as flexible and as strong as possible. He slowly got closer and closer to being able to do the splits. Finally, he felt like it was time to convince the dance instructor that he could be a ballerina. This time, Beary walked past his classmates and through the dance studio doors with his head held high. He did not get any ice cream on his fur. Inside, he found the ballet instructor and her students helping to set up for a performance on the stage. When the other ballerinas saw a bear in the studio, they started to chatter with each other.
Look, a bear. What is he doing here? He must be lost.
Beary started to feel a little nervous. All the ballerinas were staring at him. Before Beary could talk to the instructor, however, he heard a scream. Ah! He looked around in alarm and saw a stage light falling towards some of the ballerinas, who were frozen in fright. Beary leaped over the scenery and ran towards the ballerinas, catching the heavy light just in time. No one in the studio moved. They were astonished at Beary's strength. Beary placed the light down on the stage, and, all at once, the ballerinas rushed around Beary, thanking him. The instructor ran over and praised Beary for saving her ballerinas.
Oh, what a spectacular leap over the scenery.
she said.
Oh, what strength. You, young bear, would make a fine ballerina.
Beary beamed. His hard work had paid off. For the next few weeks, Beary spent almost every day at the dance studio, practicing with the other ballerinas. He was extremely happy, and the other ballerinas became his close friends. A month later, Beary stepped onto the studio's stage. The big recital that all the ballerinas had been practicing for was about to begin. He was very anxious. The whole town was watching. Bears and bunnies, gazelles and lions, rhinos and giraffes had come to watch this strange new ballerina bear. The lights dimmed and the music began. Beary pranced through the moves that he had been practicing with the other ballerinas. The first song went well, and the crowd was fascinated. The second song began, and this song had the most difficult move. Beary would have to lift a gazelle ballerina above his head and twirl her around. But right before he lifted the ballerina in the air, Beary tripped. The crowd started muttering.
Oh, well, I knew bears couldn't really be ballerinas.
To everyone's amazement, Beary fell to the ground in a perfect split. He lifted a gazelle ballerina in the air with one hand. The crowd gasped.
Wow, he's so strong. I've never seen a bear that flexible.
By the end of the dance, the crowd was standing on paws and hooves, applauding the ballerina's performance. At dance practice the next day, the instructor had everyone line up.
I would like to announce the lead in our next recital.
She said. Everyone held their breath.
Barry,
She said.
how would you like to lead the dances in the next performance?
Beary eagerly stepped forward.
I would love that more than anything.
He replied, smiling ear to ear. As Beary began to practice the routine with all of the other ballerinas, he couldn't stop smiling. His impossible dream had finally come true.